Kick off your shoes and pick up a controller? It's time for Review Phase. Review Phase is where I give you a review of a game, and in this inaugural episode, I want to talk to you about Heroes of Hammerwatch 2. Developed and published by Crackshell Games, Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 is a 2D, roguelite action RPG with town-building elements. In the game, you play as one of 7 character classes and battle your way through a variety of levels. Equip different weapons, collect powerful trinkets, and use devastating abilities on your quest to destroy the evil lurking in the Dark Citadel. Heroes of Hammerwatch combines top-down action RPG combat from games like Secret of Mana with roguelite progression from games like Undermine. This blend of gameplay, combined with the assortment of unique character classes, comes together to make a fun game full of depth and replayability. If you've played the first Heroes of Hammerwatch, then this game will be familiar to you in all the right ways. They've taken the mechanics of that game, refined them, added a fresh coat of artwork, and delivered a fantastic sequel in a sea of similar options. If you're new to the series, Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 is a great standalone title and an incredible addition to your roguelite library. The strengths of Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 lies in its gameplay, character variety, town building, and feelings of progression. The basic gameplay loop is you start a run, gather materials, boost your town, and rinse and repeat. During the runs themselves, you fight enemies to gain experience to level your character, gather resources to build up your town, find equipment that lasts permanently through runs, and obtain trinkets that provide you with a boost for the current run only. Once you die, you fail the run and return back to town. Use your gathered resources to construct and upgrade buildings, and these town buildings will either add new gameplay mechanics or enhance existing ones. The loop itself is satisfying, and it always feels like you're accomplishing something whenever you finish a run. Even if you fail early, you'll likely have made progress towards some challenge or goal. Combat in the game is fast-paced and responsive. We'll get into the characters more in depth later, but each class feels different to play and handles combat situations differently. Enemy encounters start out fairly straightforward, but the later ones provide a significant challenge and will force you to plan accordingly. In true roguelike fashion, if you're not quick about clearing out enemies, you're going to find yourself overwhelmed. The level backgrounds and sprite work are stunning. As you fight your way through the Dark Citadel, you'll come across a variety of different biomes. Each one captures a different feeling and has unique enemies and traps, and specific challenges and encounters for you to overcome. The lush forests give off the spirit of excitement and adventure. The twisting, claustrophobic hallways of the dungeon make it feel like there's no way out. The regal and vibrant colors of the courts give off a mysterious yet magical aura. As you're enjoying the game, take the time to look at the detail that's placed in the background art. And this can all be enjoyed in online co-op. Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 delivers a solid single-player experience, but this game shines if you're able to play with even just one extra player. But I would be doing this game a great disservice if I didn't talk about the character variety. As previously mentioned, there are 7 character classes for you to choose from. 4 are available from the beginning, and there are 3 more that you can unlock while playing the game. Each of these classes have vastly different playstyles. Want to focus on healing and buffing your teammates? Choose the Paladin. Want to siphon health and mana from enemies while setting up traps? Try out the Warlock. Want to cause massive amounts of AoE damage by being adaptable with elemental magic? Play the Sorcerer. This is even more compounded when you get to level 10 and have a few guild hall upgrades. At that point you unlock specializations, which gives each class new abilities that completely alter their gameplay. Each class has 4 abilities at base, 2 active and 2 passive. The specializations add an additional active and passive, bringing the total to 6. During the run, you'll come across ability upgrade orbs that modify your active and passive abilities. They will sometimes make their current effects stronger, and other times they will add even more effects to them. 7 different classes, 3 specializations each, and a plethora of ability upgrades gives you a lot of different variety in choosing a playstyle. This is especially true in multiplayer, where you and your friends can utilize skills in crazy combos. Play as different classes and sync up your abilities, or play as the same class and use all of its powers at once. The second major part of Heroes of Hammerwatch 2's gameplay involves building up your town. At first it starts out as a simple base camp, but after a few runs and gathering materials, it will start to develop into a small town. Collecting the materials is easy enough, and eventually you'll unlock a trader that will allow you to purchase the supplies you need. But upgrading the buildings is an incredibly satisfying feeling. As each building reaches a higher upgrade tier, the detail becomes more intricate, and what starts as a small blacksmith hut will eventually become a full-blown shop if you advance it far enough. Most importantly, each of the buildings you construct or upgrade will increase your account progression. Speaking of, let's talk about one of the most important aspects of roguelites, progression. How does progression work in Heroes of Hammerwatch 2? To be honest, the team at Crackshell nailed the progression system in this game. There are a multitude of ways to increase your overall power and progress your account. Constructing the aforementioned buildings in your town will almost always add a new mechanic to interact with. And this can be a small change like allowing you to purchase or trade materials to something much larger like upgrading your talents or boosting trinkets. It feels like everything you do contributes to making your account stronger in some way. And that's partially true due to the accomplishment system. Most actions in the game have an accomplishment associated with them, which if you complete gives an important reward. These actions range from drinking potions, defeating enemies, to parrying attacks. Generally, this reward is an additional skill point or a permanent account-wide stat increase. Additionally, the game has titles, which is basically a fancy way to keep track of the highest level attained with each class in your account. The cool part about this though is that leveling up classes will confer additional account-wide bonuses. For instance, leveling up the Sorcerer class will give all your other characters bonus mana regen based on the Sorcerer's max level. Leveling the Warlock grants extra resistances to all your characters. The game not only encourages you to play each and every class, but also rewards you for doing so. After all, it's easier to complete some of the accomplishments with certain classes over others. While the game is a ton of fun, it is not without its faults. Until you get the specializations unlocked, some of the classes can be dull to play. The Paladin only has a heal and a mace slam until they unlock their specializations. These abilities work and are useful, but they aren't as much fun as say channeling an Eldritch Invocation or casting a magical orb. Also, the scaling on New Game Plus seems a little off at times. Enemy damage can ramp up too quickly, and there's not much you can do in some instances. Luckily there have been a few patches that address this, and it's better than it was before, but it may still need a tiny bit of work. While Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 does improve over the original game, there are still some things that are missing from the first game. The character portrait customization in Part 2 is severely lacking when compared to Part 1. I was also hoping to see the return of the permadeath mercenary mode. There are a few classes missing as well. There's no priest class in this game, and while the gladiator and witch hunter were DLC classes, they haven't made it over yet. There are also a number of trinkets missing between the two games. This may be nitpicky, especially since Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 already has so much content, but it was just a hope to see the full class roster return. There may be more DLC planned for the future, which would be great if that's the case. The DLC from the first game added some fun levels and gameplay, which I'd love to see come back. There were also a few text glitches that continue to occur. I'm not 100% sure if this has been patched already, as I haven't seen it happen in a while, but there have been a few instances where I can't see what a trinket does due to some text display glitches. That being said though, Crackshell has been great about patching the game. They've released a patch roughly every week, and generally have made great improvements to the gameplay experience. So, is Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 the right game for you? If you enjoyed the first one, then I would say absolutely try this game. It plays nearly the same, has a bit more gameplay to offer, although it has a few less classes than in-game Heroes of Hammerwatch 1. Do you like roguelites and games in similar genres? If you do, then this game may be right up your alley. It has a great progression system, and each time you complete a run, win or fail, you can notice your characters getting a little stronger. Are you looking for a new co-op game to play with your partner or some friends? Definitely give this one a try. The gameplay is simple enough to not immediately turn away new gamers, and offers systematic improvements so they will constantly get better as they play. Also, for the experienced gaming group, the mechanical depth is definitely there. It just takes a while to get to that point. The game is challenging, but hardcore gamers may not experience a wall until you get to New Game Plus. I thoroughly enjoyed this game, and playing with my partner has been an absolute blast. We've enjoyed strategizing our characters and syncing up our playstyles. I heavily recommend it to anyone with a remote interest in roguelike games, or even if you're an action RPG fan, give this game a try. If none of this appeals to you, there's at least a free demo up on Steam. You can give it a try at no cost and see if it's something you're interested in. The demo supports online multiplayer, so grab some buds and head into the Dark Citadel. Have you tried Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 yet? Have you played the first one? Been playing any other games like this one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and good luck on all your future runs.